Not knowing how to defend is a common problem in Siege. There's so many strats and things you have to know when defending, so in this video I'm going to be teaching you the guidelines of a defensive round so you can become a way better defender. So the first step of defense is knowing what the goal of defense is. And if you're new to Siege, you might think the main objective is to kill everyone on the enemy team, but as many of you know, that isn't the case. The main objective of defense is to delay the attacker's time and deny the plant. Now if you do end up killing all of the attackers, you will win the round, but it's not a reliable strategy against tough opponents. You can't just chase kills in higher ranks like that. Even if you are a good mechanical player, they're gonna outsmart you, and most of the time you're gonna lose those fights. And another thing is the attacker's guns are usually better and they have more 1.5s compared to the defender's guns. Like, the defenders don't have a lot of 1.5s, and if they do have 1.5 on defense, usually the gun is very bad and it doesn't do high damage or, kill fast or whatever. So they end up giving it a 1.5 to kind of counteract that and make the gun better. But most of the time, even if you do have the 1.5 on a bad gun, it's still not going to beat most of the attacker's guns. And also, the attacker's abilities are, for the most part, more based around getting kills. So the attackers have many more ways to kill you than you have to kill them 90% of the time, if you're both just trying to kill each other. But the advantage that defense has, if you waste enough time and play smart to deny the plant, then the rounds become very easy to win. So that's why, as a defender, the goal is to waste time and deny the plant. So now that you know the goal of a defending round, you need to know what the roles of defense are so that you can complete the goal efficiently. So the roles of defense are the roamer / deep roamer, the shallow roamer / soft anchor, and the anchor. The roamer / deep roamer is the most known role on defense. They play off-site and are the first line of defense to slow down the attackers. Then there's the soft anchor / shallow roamer. They play off-site as well, but usually 1 to 2 rooms off-site in a powerful spot, a lot of the times with a shield. And then there's the anchor. The anchor hunkers down in the bomb site, and I'll go more in depth about all these roles, but I just wanted to say them now so there's no confusion later on. And now that you know the roles of defense and the goal of defense, you need to know what operator to select and what roles to play them in, also known as team composition. Usually in a defensive round, you want to have at least 1 deep roamer and 1 soft roamer. If you have more than 3 people on site, then you're lowering your chances at winning the round. And even 3 is a lot most of the time. Most of the time I recommend just having 1 anchor. Now this might seem kind of counterintuitive to some people, but if you don't have people off site, then you're giving the attackers free map control. And giving up free map control is when you allow the attackers to clear areas of the map without you trying to stop them. Map control is one of the most important parts of winning a round as an attacker or a defender. As an attacker, if you establish map control, it allows you to set up your attacking strat easier without having to worry about anybody trying to stop you or flank you. And you save a lot of time if you have all that free map control. So you want to have people off site to stop the attackers from getting free map control. And for the anchors, you should choose ops with a lot of utility that can help hold down the site. And some good operators to run for both roles. For deep roaming, a lot of the times just choose a 2 or 3 speed, and there isn't really any specific operators. And the reason I say this is, yeah, there is operators like Vigil and Cav that are basically made for roaming, but most of the time Vigil's ability isn't that good. It doesn't really work that well. It does work and it can help you roam, but it's not going to help you that much. And most of the time the stuff that you're doing when roaming, you don't need an ability to do it. You kind of just need to be a nuisance and use your gun and use, your game sense and all that. You don't really need an ability to help you most of the time. So just run operators like, Warden, Ella, Vigil, and Cav, and those type of operators that are made for roaming are good as well. Like I said, anybody that's really a 2 to 3 speed with a good gun is most of the time a very good roamer. And for anchoring, if you're playing soft anchor, most of the time you want a shield, or you could have your teammates place down the shield. If you want to run ops like Tachanka, Smoke used to have a shield, but he doesn't have a shield anymore. If you want someone to place down your shield for you on your team, Smoke is a very good op for that. Yeah, you can pretty much choose any op to soft anchor. It's just best to play around a shield, or at least you can use your ability, to help you being in a room that has a lot of exits. So if they do try to push up on you, then you should be fine if there's a lot of exits. And for sitting sight, like really anchoring down in sight. A lot of good ops are just, 1 armor or 2 armor, so slower ops that have a lot of utility. Smoke is good for this. Mute, Cade, Doc, Wamai, Izami, and those are like really anchoring. You could honestly run anybody, but it's best to choose ops, like I said, with a lot of utility and are kind of slower because they're more suited for that job. And also roamers should be running the ops that are higher speed with better guns and stuff like that. You don't usually want to be a high speed with a good gun sitting in sight because you're not using your capabilities of the operator to its fullest extent. Operator selection isn't as important on defense as it is on attack, and even on attack it's not very important. So operators are very associated with certain roles. Oh, you have to do this, you're this op. Not always. You can run Maestro and go roam. I mean, it's probably going to work better if you choose a different op, but you can still do it. And most of the time, if you're a good player, you can still be effective with him. It's just taking into account all the things that I'm saying in this video that are going to add up to you becoming, a very good at your role or very good at just defense in general. But yeah, let's just move on to the next topic, team communication. Team communication is a very important part of Siege that isn't used enough. Now, for some people, this seems obvious you need to use team communication, but there are a lot of people out there who don't communicate to their team. If something happens in a round, like a wall gets breached, you hear somebody or kill somebody, something like that, you should be calming it. If a wall is breached and your team doesn't know about it, then they might make a play that might get them killed because they didn't know the wall was open. So call out a lot. But a problem is a lot of people don't know how to call out. They don't know areas of the maps. They don't know what to say. A lot of the time, my teammates will call out over there or right there, something like that, causing me to get killed because I kind of start panicking, thinking someone's looking at me and I'm going to die because they're calling out like that. So don't do that. Don't say over there. Try to learn specific parts of the map. You can turn your compass on if you need help with that or, watch videos for that. But learning specific parts of the map so you can give better callouts and stop saying over there is a very good part of team communication. Okay, so now moving on to the next thing, we're going to talk about the prep phase. The prep phase is a 45-second period where you should be setting up site by putting down your utility, making rotate holes, and reinforcing. As for utility, this kind of comes with experience of just knowing, where to place your stuff down. When you kind of just play the game, you'll learn where to place your Elemines or your Jaeger ADSs and stuff like that. When you start out, what I recommend is learning a strat from somewhere. Like my channel, I have videos about strats you can do solo on different maps. And once you learn a strat, do it every time on that site, and you'll become better and better at the strat, and you'll remember it better, and you'll become faster at setting it up, and it'll make it less daunting trying to figure out where to put all your utility because you already know because you've been doing this strat every time on the site. And the next thing you need to do is make rotate holes and reinforce, right? This also comes with experience, but once again, I have videos telling you how to set up sites, and I'm going to be continuing to make more because I don't have every map, but there's other videos like that too, and that also comes with just playing the game. You're going to figure out what other players on your team are doing, where they're making the rotates and reinforcing. But just some general tips: don't reinforce in between bomb sites. Make rotate holes so you can easily rotate from site to site to defend easier. And also, when the attackers take control of the site, they can just plant in one of the sites and you can't rotate through because you've reinforced both of the walls connecting the sites. So you usually want to make a rotate through so you can apply pressure into both sites at the same time and, making it easier. Also, most walls on the outside of the site should be reinforced and most of the time electrified, because if attackers get these walls open, they can easily cut off your team from playing inside the bomb site. Also, hatches above site should be reinforced as well most of the time, unless you want to hold down the bomb site from above with one of these hatches open. And if you're not going to do that, a lot of the time you want to electrify those hatches above site because they're very important for attackers to get them open. Once attackers get hatches open, they can flash into the site and just drop in, and so you don't want that happening. So most of the time, at least reinforce, but sometimes you should be electrifying hatches too. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get on to the next topic, and that is going to be roaming. I'm not going to go super in depth about roaming because roaming is a skill that you need to get good at by doing it in your games. You don't learn how to roam by being told to. You learn by doing it. Now, yes, tips like what I'm saying in this video are going to help you. If you just, take in the tips that I'm telling you in this video and you don't try to actually try them in game a lot and you don't try to get very good at them, just knowing how to do stuff isn't going to, make you good at something. You actually have to practice it and become good at it. And I've made a video about how to roam, everything to do with roaming. So if you want to get good at roaming, watch that video. I went in depth about all the parts of roaming, and yeah, just watch that if you want to know, really in depth how to roam. Take into account the rules and tips I talked about and in that video and start roaming in your games, and you'll become a way better roamer. But I will go over a few things in this video. When deep roaming, you shouldn't try to sit in a corner hiding and waiting for someone to walk by you. This will not work in higher ranks. You'll be droned out, hunted down, and killed. As a deep roamer, you should try to slow the attackers down wherever they try to start their push. When you do this, it forces the attackers to deal with you, wasting more of their time. You can also get a lot of free kills off of this by attackers getting over aggressive, or if they don't try to clear you, then you can easily flank them or nitro them from below. And another skill is knowing when to fall back. If you've killed a lot of the attackers' drones and wasted a lot of their time, then when you're about to die, fall back. I talked about all these things in more detail in my how to roam video, and about more things that are more specific in my how to roam video. So watch that if you want to know more. You can't be told how to roam. You have to try it and learn from experience. But let's get on to the next, role of defense: anchoring. Now that you know about roaming / deep roaming, you need to know how to anchor. Anchoring is much simpler than deep roaming, so let's just get into it. When anchoring, there are two different types, like I said before: soft anchoring / shallow roaming, and normal anchoring / just anchoring. For soft anchoring / shallow roaming, you should be holding down power points close to sight for as long as possible. A power point is a part of the map that is crucial to the outcome of the round. Examples of holding down power points are holding top of main stairs with a shield on Villa and some ADSs to protect it. There are many examples of holds like this, like on Cafe, holding Pixel and Bakery with a shield, holding Garage on Clubhouse, Bunker on Oregon, and Warehouse on Nighthaven. Your goal as a soft anchor is to just waste as much time. You shouldn't be pressured to get kills. If you wasted around 2 minutes of the attacker's time, then you've done good. And just like deep roaming, if you think you're gonna die, fall back, save your life, and then it's just up to you and your team playing good for the rest of the round once the attacking team switches up their push because you've wasted so much of their time. You shouldn't be over peaking once you've fallen off, and there's not a lot of time on the clock, so just don't over peak. Play smart and peak when needed. And yeah, that's really all there is to soft anchoring. Waste time, play behind a shield most of the time, hold crucial points of the map, and you should be good. But yeah, now on to, just normal anchoring. Anchoring like this is the easiest role on defense. As an anchor, you should place down your utility, make rotates, and reinforce in the site. Once you've done that, you should hop on cams when the round starts and call out to your team and give as much info as possible. Hop on cams, tell your roamers where the attackers are spawning and where they're pushing from so they can prepare for them. And until someone dies on your team, you should be checking cams to get more info. So if none of your teammates are dead a minute into the round, periodically just check the cams every once in a while. Or if one of your teammates says, yo, can you check this cam or whatever, check it and give them intel, because you're in sight. You don't have to worry about as much as they do. But once someone on your team dies, you can hop off cams so your dead teammate can take over. Then after that, you should try to stop any direct pushes the attackers try to do into sight, and towards the end of the round, try to deny the plant. And that's really all there is to anchoring. Let's just get on to the next thing. And the next thing we're going to be talking about in this video is site retakes / clutches. If you don't know what a site retake is, it's when the attackers take control of a bomb site and get the plant down, and the defenders have to take control of the site again. This is pretty tough, but I do have some tips to help you win more. First thing is if you have a low man count, you need to play aggressive. This is a very common mistake when people are clutching. Most of the time, when people have the man disadvantage, they play passive, allowing the attackers to chase them down and kill them. When you're at a man disadvantage, you need to play aggressive to catch the enemy team off guard and to not let them set up crossfires. If someone is by themselves, take them out before their teammates can help them. You can catch them off guard like that. And on the other side, if you have a teammate, work together, don't separate and get killed. Force the attackers to take a 2-on-1 gunfight, or at least an even gunfight if it's a 2-on-2 gunfight or whatever. If you separate, you're most of the time giving the attackers the advantage, so just don't do that. And if you have teammates and you have time to defuse the bomb, have one person defuse while the others cover them. And also, you should realize the other team has to make mistakes for you to win these situations. If the attackers play it right, then you pretty much have no chance, so keep that in mind. Alright, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. No, but like actually, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, because 97% of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, which means 97% of you are missing out on content like this all the time. And it only takes like 2 seconds and it's completely free, so why not do it? It helps me out. It doesn't take that much time. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. But other than that, peace. Bye bye.